Weird Science was released in 1985 and was written and directed by John Hughes. Hughes was no stranger to teenage films of the 1980s, and while many of his films leaned towards being a bit on the surreal side, Weird Science was probably the weirdest. Anthony Michael Hall and Ian Mitchell Smith play Gary Wallace and Wyatt Donnelly, two 15-year-old social outcasts.
Yo! Check us out!
They get publicly humiliated by high school bullies Ian, Robert Downey Jr., and Max, Robert Rustler, after being caught checking out Deb and Haley, Ian and Max's girlfriends. Wyatt's family seems pretty financially secure. His parents love him, but you get the feeling that maybe they don't pay a whole lot of attention to him. It seems kind of like a situation where they think that throwing money at him will solve all of his problems. They're leaving for the weekend and Gary will be staying over. Gary is fed up with the direction his life has taken and borrows an idea from Dr. Frankenstein.
The electrical secrets of heaven. And this time we're ready. Hey, Fritz? Let's have one final test. Throw the switches. Here in this machine, I have discovered the great ray that first brought life into the world. And look, here's the final touch. The brain you stole, Fritz. Think of it. The brain of a dead man, waiting to live again in a body I made with my own hands.
You know, it's not a bad idea.
What?
15 minutes, the storm should be at its height.
Making a girl.
He convinces Wyatt that they need to make a girl?
Actually making a girl. Just like Frankenstein. Except cuter.
Gary wants to create an artificial intelligence in order to practice his social skills with the ladies.
You're serious?
Yes. Look me in the eyes. Do I look serious?
Crazy! Crazy am I.
So the boys set off on a trope-filled montage of computer hacking and come up with Lisa. Yeah. Good job, boys. Lisa is played by Kelly LeBrock. She's kind of like a genie and has various abilities and powers. It's not mentioned in the film, but Lisa is a reference to an Apple computer at the time.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
She immediately begins to work on fulfilling Gary and Wyatt's fantasies.
You guys created me. I didn't come from anywhere. Before you started messing around with your computer, I didn't even exist.
The movie keeps it more tame than you might expect.
You guys had better loosen up.
Her ultimate goal really is to push them out of their comfort zones and help them come out of their shells, which is really why they created her in the first place. She takes them out for a night on the town, and despite not fitting in, once the boys relax, they actually start to make some friends.
Fast, man. Let me tell you my story, man. Last year, I was insane for this crazy little 8th grade bitch. Okay?
Crazy? Insane?
Insane? Crazy?
I was nuts for the woman, man. Now you gotta believe me. I'm telling the truth here. I'm speaking to you.
Anthony Michael Hall is pretty funny here, and he kind of reminds me of Eddie Murphy, and that really is such a weird statement when you think about it. The boys wake up with a hangover and have to deal with Chet, Wyatt's older brother.
Good morning, turd brain.
Hi, Jet.
Okay, Woodpecker. If you see a lion, let me know.
You spit in this?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Hey, that looks pretty good. Now make yourself one, dickweed.
This was Bill Paxton's first big role, and he's hilarious. Bill Paxton actually created a lot of Chet's character. He's a bully and Wyatt's older brother who's been away at military prep school.
That is a severe behavioral disorder. Those are women's underpants. I mean, the next thing you know, you'll be wearing a bra on your head.
Watch out, Deadpool. John Hughes was breaking the fourth wall before you were around.
If you were a 15-year-old boy, would these turn you on?
Is this the lady that takes care of Tweety Bird? The boys take Lisa to the mall and have to endure another public humiliation by Iron Man and company.
Max, what are you gonna do?
You know, Gare, for the first time in my life, I don't feel like a total dick.
Yeah, me either.
Sorry, boys. Momentary loss of motor nerve. You guys getting tired of this? We're not, but I'll tell you one thing. There is a cure. Rumor has it there's a big white sale going on. At Town World.
Lisa tells everyone there's going to be a huge party at Wyatt's.
By the way, there's a party tonight at Wyatt's house. You can find his name in the student's directory under Donnelly. Pass the word around.
Gary went home to get ready for the party, and Lisa comes to pick him up.
Do you go to Gary's school?
Do I look like I'm in high school?
No.
Well,
His parents aren't too thrilled, but don't worry, Lisa says they'll forget about the whole thing.
Did you think Gary was acting a little strangely this evening?
Gary. Who's Gary?
Hi.
The party is huge. Everyone shows up. Of course, Wyatt and Gary are hiding in the bathroom.
Yeah.
ladies.
Hi.
Hi.
I can't believe you. I cannot. You're dropping wolf bait and there are chicks outside. Light a match or something. Light a fire. I don't know.
Hi.
Hi.
We're sorry. We thought there were just girls in there. We're sorry.
Oh, it's just us dudes, you know.
What are you doing here?
Gary was just taking a shit.
Come on, Lisa, why not?
Ian and Max are after Lisa,
Because I belong to Gary and Wyatt.
but they can't get around her devotion to Gary and Wyatt. When they find out the truth about Lisa, they make a deal. If Gary and Wyatt can make another woman for them, they'll let Gary and Wyatt have a shot with Deb and Hilly. Everything starts to go crazy. It doesn't turn out exactly the way they expected, though, and Lisa decides that Gary and Wyatt need a kick in the pants.
You had to be big shots, didn't you? You had to show off. When are you going to learn people like you for what you are, not for what you can give them?
The movie is pretty funny and has some crazy moments. There's a strong message about being yourself and having the courage to go after what you want. Social anxiety and awkwardness can be such a hindrance, especially to teenagers. The cast is good and they put on some great performances, except for maybe Deb and Hilly, but that's not their fault. They weren't bad, they just weren't given much to do.
What about me?
It may not be John Hughes' best film, but it's definitely not his worst. He was great at making teen movies in the 80s, and it shows here. He understands how they think and how they talk. They weren't just cookie-cutter puppets thrown into some sex romp. They are complex characters with real worries, fears, hopes, and goals. I give Weird Science a 7.5 out of 10. In a decade filled with teenage underdog stories, this one stands near the top. It's remembered as an 80s gem and even spawned a 90s TV show that wasn't half bad either. It also gets bonus points for having one of the coolest theme songs ever, thanks to Danny Elfman and Oingo Boingo. What are your memories of Weird Science? Have a movie request? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.
Look our 16-year-old boy.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Lucy, and I want you to shut up.